We are going to be getting a card that is a first of its kind in FIFA history, so it seems. The leaks are telling us right now. We will get into that. EA finally updated price ranges finally, which is making a big effect on the market right now. We'll talk about that. Also, a little server drama as EA added a fun little addition today. There's some more gameplay drama going on because people are not happy with it or they're just not getting used to it right now. That's really been the talk of the town so far. It's just been the gameplay with this game. So we'll get into that discussion as well. But as always, thank you for being here. Subscribe if you are new. All kinds of content on the channel. If you guys would like to buy coins, you can go to mmoxp.com. There will be a link in the description. They are the cheapest and safest option. You can use my code JFC at checkout for a 5% discount. Endrick Evo, by the way, I'm in love with this card. I actually love this card now that he's fully upgraded with the multiple boosts. Power Shot Plus is great in this game, by the way, because shooting actually is better. I'm actually scoring more power shots than I even did last year, I feel like. Well, especially after the power shot nerf last year. This game right now actually does feel like the pre-Travella nerf and pre-power shot nerf last year. Travellas are going in like crazy, and so are power shots too. Travellas I don't really like as much as the power shots, but I would actually highly recommend doing this card if you wanted to try and get an Evo chain going, because rapid and quick step for him, I think pace is so important this year. Add on the fact that he's 80 rated, he should be able to be fitting into quite a few Evos. Yes, they'll put some pace requirements or pace restrictions, sorry, or dribbling restrictions or shooting restrictions, whatever. But 80 rated for this card should really help down the line as well. That's why I wanted to do this Endrick Evo, and he is very good. And you'll see some gameplay of that on the second channel later today. And also, I want to push a conspiracy theory for a sec. I'm fully convinced of this one. Okay, I don't know if you guys agree with me on this. Slow It Down Evo came back out today. It's available for 2 days. It is a max 74 overall, but max 85 pace. Tell me for 1 second you don't believe these were supposed to be reversed. Max 85 overall, and then max 74 pace. That makes sense for a Slow It Down Evo. Bring your low pace items and battle it out in this limited time event. Max 85 pace, low pace Evos? No, this is 100% a mistake, and they just haven't admitted it yet, or maybe they'll say it eventually, or maybe they just don't want to now, and they'll let it, you know, go away and bring another one back out again. Because these weren't even the requirements in the one yesterday, right? These actually weren't the requirements. And the pace was, I think, was max 75, I think. But this I'm 99.9% sure was a mistake, and they got the requirements mixed up, which how the hell that happens, do not ask me. But tell me for 1 second that that makes sense. Great job out there, guys. Now, I also want to say Alex Garcia came out, who has Press Proven Plus. He's extremely cheap to do, and I would just for sure recommend completing this card because Press Proven Plus seems to be very, very good right now. I don't think it's a coincidence they even gave us a card with Press Proven Plus at the start of this game, because last year they did that with the start of the meta playstyle pluses. They started to give us like playstyle pluses that were good in SBCs. I think they did that here too, because Press Proven Plus seems to be really good this year because you kind of have to hold up play a lot. It's still figuring things out. Obviously, that could be a faded take, but it sure seems like that. But okay, now we begin with the interesting leaks that we got today. FUT Scoreboard tweeted this out saying some interesting card designs from the game files. It looks like we now have UCL icons and UCL heroes on the way. The I believe the Thuram and Hazard predictions are just predictions there. Like, these cards are not confirmed, but looks like the card designs, though, Hazard and Thuram, are going to exist. So we're going to get promo heroes and icons in the very first promo this year. Which, how do you feel about that? Is that too soon? I actually think that if they make them like lower rated, they could even make them like base icons, right? I wouldn't mind that at all. Make them cheap, highly packed, and if they don't make them crazy good, then I don't mind it. Now, as people are getting more coins this year, we are hearing allegations, crazy allegations of pay to win this year, that people who have crazy cards are saying the gameplay is good because the gameplay is mega different between the crazy good cards and the starting gold cards this year. Haven't really used many of them. If you guys have, let me know. But we should be seeing UCL icons and heroes. I think it should be a good thing, but of course, knowing EA's implementation of things, it's hard to ever know for sure. Okay, continuing on with leaks themselves, we got a ton of new packs added today, except they're all Pepsi packs. We got Pepsi packs last year that had 400 XP on it with some themed kits and stuff, and they're back again. So I was like, ooh, what are we seeing here? Nothing exciting at all. It's Pepsi packs, boys. That little promotion does return. And then here was this. It was blowing up today, right around content time. There were server queues. People were trying to get on. They couldn't. They were lined up in a 1,000 player long server queue. Warming up, our match day turnstiles are a bit busy right now, but don't worry, you'll be in the stadium soon. Thank you so much. Position in queue 232. So this was going kind of viral today because we haven't seen this ever in FIFA before. This has been in some other games out there, but not in FIFA. I'm not surprised to see this because I don't think their servers have ever been able to handle everybody like this. It's probably also an admission of defeat, saying we know the servers are not going to be perfect for everyone all the time. Let's at least make like a server queue so that people know what they're, I guess, getting in for when they try and get on the servers, right? If it's really busy, now people are like, have more information of why I can't sign in, which I guess is kind of a good thing in one sense. Also, though, the fact that we ever can have server queues like this, if someone in the comments is, I don't know, like knows a lot about servers and stuff like that, maybe this isn't the case, but the fact that they can't spend more money on this or on these is crazy, that we have server queues when they are like the richest sports game out there, one of the richest games out there by one of the richest companies in the world, is kind of insane for our experience that we had to wait in server queues. People were in there for like 10 minutes. It was only like a 10-minute, 15-minute wait, and for some it was 30 seconds, but it's just funny that we now have these here. And do you think this will become more of a regular thing, like content time? You better get on before content time. You might get a little server queue for 5-10 minutes to kind of ease people on the servers. I don't really know exactly how everything works with it, but it's just funny to see it. And what do you think about it? And we talked about this, was it 2 days ago now, where everybody was lying to us? We got changed this FC25 setting, game settings, graphics mode, favor resolution, helps the delay and lag. People are claiming that this is foolproof once again. It helps the lag. I did this. The game plays the exact fucking same as before. Maybe it's like a PC thing where if you're on PC, maybe it would have been worse. Maybe it's an Xbox thing, but my PS5, it just didn't do much. Now, once again, like I said yesterday or 2 days ago, was it? If you say this does change things, I don't necessarily not believe you, because this game's coding is so bad that maybe somehow for some people it ends up changing things. But for me, at least, the favor resolution, the changing the setting in game to the reaction time modifier or whatever, neither of them changed much for me. So I'm gonna assume for most people that it won't, but if it does for you, I'm happy for you. And also, team of the week predictions, there's not a ton of great players to be in predictions. Vinny, I've seen a lot in some predictions. Some people have not predicted him. Lewandowski, Bremer, Luis Diaz, Ajibade. For women's cards, Olise in there. It's not supposed to be the most amazing team of the week, it seems. They might shoehorn somebody in, but the players that could be in are not like team of the week 1, it looks like. One of the most viral FIFA tweets from today was coming from Zaid, who I think is a content creator, I believe. Yeah, he says FUT/FIFA content creator. This game isn't even fully out yet, and all I see is everyone crying. It's slower because you aren't using 5-star 99 overalls anymore. No shit, it's slower. It's too hard to play offense, aka I can't spam cutbacks anymore. Yeah, thank God. FC24 felt like the same opponent every game with the 4-3-2-1 and spamming cutbacks. FC25, every opponent feels different. A bunch of different tactics actually work. No one's spamming the exact same play all game, and the passing feels smooth. It actually feels a bit like a football game, not like some arcade simulator like FC24 was. I must say, I utterly disagree with almost everything here. Now, there's a couple things I agree with, but where do we begin? Okay, well, first I'll show you my tweet. I said, I have no idea how you can play this game and not see that it's slower regardless of players overall. That was all I said in the tweet, but I had a lot to say about this. So the first sentence, we'll start with that. The game isn't even fully out yet. Yes, it is. Do not act like for a fucking second this is not the end product of the game, okay? This game is like 90% patched up and done. We'll get like 10% changes here with the patches, okay? The game is fully out. This is not some beta. This isn't some open beta test, give us feedback. The game is out. And the second sentence saying it's slower because you're not using gods, that's just completely untrue. I don't know how you can play this game and play last year's game and not see the game mechanics themselves are slower. It's not because of the overalls and stats, it's because the game mechanics themselves are slower. And I'm glad most people can tell that difference. I'm not saying it's a bad difference immediately here, like off rip. I'm just saying that to lie to yourself and say it's not slower, this game is 100% slower. There's no way it's not. It's too hard to play offense, aka I can't spam cutbacks anymore. I don't really think cutbacks are gone by any means. I don't know where the cutback argument necessarily comes from here. I do agree with this sentence though, saying last game felt like the same opponent every game with the 4-3-2-1 spamming cutbacks. It was mostly just 4-3-2-1 playing the same opponent every game. I don't really get the spamming cutbacks part, maybe old gen. But this next sentence, this game feels like you're playing a different opponent every game, bunch of different tactics. We don't know the meta yet. Of course you're playing different tactics every game. Nobody knows what the best ones are yet, and maybe it ends up happening where there aren't best ones, and I pray that that's the case. But I know damn well EA did not make a game where that's the case. I can guarantee you we're going to have a clear and away best tactics, best formation. Give it some time. It's going to happen. It's going to be overpowered. Then you'll start playing that same thing every game. It's not going to be all sunshine and roses until the fucking futties rolls around this year where, oh my God, every game felt so different. That is not going to be the case. I promise you that. And then it actually feels like a bit of a football game, not some arcade simulator. And I guess a couple things here. The difference between 24 and 25 is big enough for one of them to feel like like a football game, one feel like an arcade simulator. No, to me, not at all. And obviously then there's the debate of like, does realism, like a realistic football game, make the game fun to play? Or would you rather have it be more arcadey? I would prefer it to be a nice little mix of like real and arcadey. I think this one isn't really my ideal mix, honestly. It feels just a little too slow for me. I think 23 had a great mix of that. It was a little slower than we've used to have in 18 and 17 and even 19, but it was a little bit more arcadey at times, but also more realistic. This one is just like, we're going so slow. It is very realistic in a certain sense, but is that fun to play? Like, you have to have a fun to play game before you make a realistic game, because that is more important than anything else. And what creative liberties do you take when you try to make those games? I don't know the right answer necessarily, but I just know that I don't think immediately like, oh, it plays like a football game, therefore it's better. I don't even think that either. And then Zay does say down here, I'm not calling it a 10 out of 10 game. It's not, but it's a good step in the right direction. It's clearly an improvement, but it'll all come down to how they patch the game. No. You're like, this is what's going to happen. You're going to blame the patches on when people find out what the meta is, and then all of a sudden it's the patches' fault. The gameplay feels like it's ass now, and everyone's rocking the same tactics, rocking aerial plus, long ball plus players. Then it's going to feel a lot worse because people know how to play the game then, like, you know, to take advantage of certain things. Yes, patches oftentimes do not help, but also he's going to blame the patches here for when the game doesn't feel good anymore. It did right away. It only did right away because people didn't know how to play the game yet, and not because of the reasons you gave up here. So that's kind of my, I guess, my 2 cents. And people were cooking him in the replies, honestly. Some people did agree with him. It had 8K likes, 1 million plus views, but a lot of the replies were like, okay, give it 3 weeks and come back to this tweet and see if you agree with this still, or even give it a month, you know? But yeah, I find most of this tough to agree with. Some of it I do agree with, but I do want to give the game some credit because I do feel like there are some things that they did make better this year. I do feel like I'm a little more in control of what my team does on the field, so I got to give them credit for that. So like, there's some things I like, but there are some things I really don't like, and we're still so early on, it's just hard to say right now. I also want to just eat crow real quick because I was convinced yesterday Nico Williams was not going to be, I mean, that much higher than 80K. I'd say maybe 90, 100K at most. He's 140. I'm like, all right, I guess that this is just a pace merchant's dream card, I suppose. I'm really surprised to see him this high. We did see many price range updates, right? We saw Chouameni, Saliba, Endrick got his price range updated. Jude Bellingham did up to 420,000 now. So it was nice to see that they did update some of these cards, and this does help us. Like, it just helps with trading in general when they update these because it helps even things out a bit. Now, we are seeing right now, though, a slight drop on some cards, and we're seeing some rise on some of the more expensive cards, but we are seeing some drops. Isaac, remember we saw him at 45K most of the time. We've been looking at his price down to 38,000 now. We will slowly see a graduation of players to the next tier of cards. You don't have to panic sell Isaac yet, or Diaz, right? 84 rated. You just need to expect the slow drop with those types of cards, and you would rather be early than late on selling for 60K, right? And also, I'm telling you right now, if you can buy a card that is a little bit graduated from that sort of tier of card, that's really fast to that, because pace, I'm telling you right now, is so important in this game this year. Gaze of being 110,000 honestly makes a ton of sense to me. Rapid, quick step, and he's obviously the Premier League, even though he's 84 rated. Like, I mean, if you just put pace in your team, you're gonna be like, okay, at least I can kind of counterattack. It's a necessity in your team, especially on the wing. Striker, you can do it with a little bit more, but on the wing, pace is everything. That's what I meant when I said yesterday, watch out for what the meta is going to be, because all I'm hearing from traders is like, the whole market's going to the moon soon. I'm like, well, I mean, some of it is going to, but I'm not surprised Isaac's dropping. He's 85 pace or lower. I'm like not having fun with it at the moment, honestly. And, you know, really high pace is doing well. So not much more to say about that, really. I do think Division Rivals Rewards would be a great time to buy that like next tier of card. If you want to buy one for your team, right? Say you end up with enough coins to go and buy an Antoine Griezmann. I think that'll be a good time to buy it. Is going to be that time of Division Rivals Rewards. And with like Neymar, be a good time to buy him as well. It'll also be a great time to buy fodder. Talked about this yesterday. I think that 85s, 86s are going to be great. We're getting more 87s now because Osimhen's price range updated. So did Gundogan's price range. So we have 2 more 87s there. 87s even, you could probably look at buying 2 when we get to that point. 84s for sure. I mean, 84s almost discard. This is just a 84s could be a one where you want to buy as many as you can and then just stick them in a transfer list for a sunny day if you want to do that, because you'll make, there's a chance you can make double your coins on the first time. We really need 84s. Last year it wasn't for like a month, but it could always be sooner. You never know what they could do. Okay, let's read your comments. Cody Gakpo, which I'm a big fan, says, had a really bad time playing a narrow diamond midfield formation like last year, but switched to wingers and got the 2 Liga F objective cards and now winning most games. And yeah, I do like that I kind of feel almost like a manager. I do feel like that more this year. I hope that stays that way. But then also, you know, and you can make the argument that it is a bit restrictive. Like a card you pack, you can't really fit in your team seamlessly. So I do think I don't really know how to feel about everything yet. Like I said, we're so early on that I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, the game sucks, and everybody hyping up the game is an idiot, or everybody hating on the game too much is an idiot too. But I think we got to give it at least until like a FUT Champs weekend to me to really see what's going on. Give it a few weeks to a month to see what the meta becomes. If there becomes no real meta, then this tactic system to me is awesome, because it's just like everyone's play style is really imperative and important, because there are so many different play styles for everybody. Everybody plays slightly differently, and you can like attune your custom tactics to exactly that. That's awesome, but I just don't think that's going to be the case. And Jose replied to this guy saying, 84 should be 1,000. Like, what's the buy price for each rating? Honestly, there isn't really a guaranteed buy price. It's going to be just after Rivals Rewards, maybe 45 minutes after, I would just buy it or buy most ratings and just see if you make a profit off it eventually over the weekend. What I will say about 84s though is there's always like a couple of investments every year that are simply hold on until they go up. And 84s are one of them. It could be literally in 2 weeks. It could be in 4 months, but they're going to be 2.5 to 3K. You just don't know when. I will say one thing with this game that I really can tell I don't like so far is that defenders catch-up speed is insane. This is why pace is so important. If you're not using somebody who has like rapid plus 95 pace, the defenders are going to catch you regardless of the angle you're taking. I even said in 23, angles used to be so important for using attackers. They still are very important, but less so I think this year, because the recovery speed for defenders is insane. It is ridiculous this year, more than I think we've maybe ever seen. So that I will say is possibly one negative with this game so far. But yeah, what do you think? The comments are so split on like how they like it and how they don't like it. Keep letting me know. We'll talk about it more on the second channel as well tonight. Love you all. Peace.